Natalie asked the question, like, she wrote down accounts spelled with a different, with one C, right? Common mistake. I would have made it. So she's got in her file, it says accounts with a C. Or actually, does it say account in there? Yeah, it does say account, right? It's one of the headers.
Yeah.
So how do you change that? Well, this is the way you can't just change, like this is one, like say we have a line that says account. I need to erase this for a second. God, I hate this one. Okay. So say we have a line that says account 300. Well, this is an interesting concept here. So we've got this, we've got 100, so this is our file, and it's got a space, and then it was, what was it again? Did I even write it down? Jones. And then it was 2498, okay. Okay, so we got this string, that's our first line. And then we've got a 200 line, and then we've got a 300 line. And I think this one says white. And it has, maybe this is the 0, I can't remember. Okay, we got that. What's the second line? Does anybody remember?
Del.
Del?
Never mind. I seem to have a different list from you. I had Del for the second one.
Doe, D-O-E.
Doe. Oh, like John Doe.
Yeah.
And what's their amount?
345.67.
Okay, that sounds about right. Okay. Oops. All right, here we go. So now we've got, just consider we've got 3 lines. And we want to change 300, okay? So you can't just go in there, and we want to change line 300, and we want to replace white with Williams. Right? So if we do that, if we want to replace white with Williams on the account 300, it's going to become 300 Williams 00 because it's going to overwrite white and some of these other characters. Okay, so we can't just go in there and rewrite it easily. So what we do is we've got this file, and we can call it, this one's called accounts. .text. What we do is we open 2 files. So we open this one as read only. Okay? And then we open another one called temp. I think it's called temp.text or something. Maybe it's text, I forget. What do we even say it there? Oh, it's called temp file. So we open a temp file, an empty one, as write, as a W, okay? So we've got 2 files open. So this one's read, so we're going over here and we're looping over each line, and we're looking for 300, and then we're going to change it. So we look at, if it's 100, we look and we just write it. This one's read only, and then, so you can have 2 files open at the same time, and then we write it to this file. So now this one says 100 Jones 2498. And then we go down to the second line, and we read 200 Doe, it's not 300, so we just write it to this temp file. 200 Doe 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Now we get to 300. We say, okay. So this is how it's happening. We say we open accounts as read only. We open the temp file as write. Now we say with accounts, comma temp file. We have them both open and we're looping for record in accounts. So this is accounts. For each record here, we're splitting. We're saying account name and balance, account name and balance is record.split, because these are separated by spaces. And then we're doing an if statement. If account is not equal to 300, it's not equal, we're just gonna write it to the temp file. So we've hit the first two and we've written them to the temp file. Now, if it's not equal to 300, it means it is equal to 300. Then we say new record equals join, a space, join account. Here's where we add Williams in the balance. This is a list comprehension. Remember the join, so we're joining account with a space in between it, Williams with a space, and balance with a space. And then we're writing that concatenated with the new line. So now we're writing 300 space Williams, and then whatever that balance was, 0, and then a new line to this file. And then we keep going. So we've got two, this one's reading, this one's writing, and that's how you change it. Does that make sense? We're kind of going line by line with one file, and when we find something that we want to change, we write the change to the other file. So why don't you guys try that? Can you type this, or I can email this if you don't want to type it. So try this and see if you're, and then, okay, yeah, do this first, and then I'll show you another trick. You want me to email it to you guys?
Yeah.
Is it easier?
Yeah.
And you can put this in your same script. Okay, so this is updating file. Okay, there we go. Of course, I lost all the indentation on these things, so you'll have to fix it. So that's a pretty cool method. I've done this a lot when I've written Python scripts where I have to read one file and do something to another file while I'm reading. Yeah, let me know when you did that, and then I'll show you the trick. When you paste the thing that I emailed you, it doesn't keep the formatting, does it?
I don't. I ain't tried it. I don't think so.
It's just, it puts it all flush left, doesn't it?
Yeah. So yeah. So I'll just need to fix the.
You just need to indent it properly.
Yeah.
Why does it seem so? Oh, let me see. I didn't have all the lights turned on. Let's see. Ah, there we go. Did I tell you guys my track team won the whole thing?
Nice.
Big.
We won the regular season, and then we won the final meet.
Wow.
So I'm pretty happy with all the kids. We're having a little award ceremony where they get all their medals and everything in a couple weeks, so they'll be real excited. First three actually get medals, so. I consider it one of my best coaching jobs in 19 years because we only had 2 coaches. We couldn't hire Tim, couldn't hire this other lady, and so we only had 2 coaches with 55 kids, and we only had like 6 8th grade girls. So we're really short what they call varsity girls. And then the 8th graders took a trip to Catalina Island for a week, and they were gone. And then the 7th graders went to New York for a week and Washington, D.C., so they were gone. So I had to enter a bunch of 4th graders and 5th graders into all the events, little kids, little teeny tiny kids, just to get us points, but they did good. I had to put them in like the 800 and the mile, and they didn't want to run it, they were complaining. But I'm like, you're gonna get us 1 or 2 points just by finishing. And they were just finishing. And we only won by like 2 or 3 points the whole season. So I told all the kids, like, you made a big difference. That point you got right there. Yeah. Okay, good. Yeah, yeah, okay. Now,
Bless you.
syntax. Okay, good question. So now you've got 2 files, right? You've got an accounts.txt and you've got a temp file.txt, right? So how do you update those files? So I got 2 files. Very good question. So I got, if I do a dir here at the prompt, see, this is my prompt. I do a dir and it spits out accounts.txt and a temp file. And this is the one I really want, right? I want temp file. This is the one that has Williams in it now. Okay. So what do I have to do? There's a couple steps here. So, anybody have any ideas? I want the contents of this file into this file. So, I need to delete this one and rename this one. Delete accounts.txt, rename this to accounts.txt. Okay, makes sense? So we can do that in Python. Okay, using the OS module. So if you import the operating system module, then you can do DOS commands. So you say os.remove accounts.txt, and then os.rename tempfile.txt to accounts.txt. So any command that you can run in the operating system, like I did dir and I did more, you can do that in here with the OS module. So that just renames it. Did it work? Did it? Cool. Did it work for you? It's all working? Yeah, yeah. You can put it all in one. And you can put it all in one big Python script. Okay, so now you've written, now you should have a temp file now. You do a dir, yeah, now you've got a temp file. So now just copy those 3 lines, import space OS, right down. Yeah. Richard, you get it? Not quite. Okay. Yeah. Yeah, coming on. Get it?
Yeah, I think it works. Because I know it's still putting out right at the beginning, but luckily, when I looked into like the directory and stuff and went to account, it did change to William.
Okay, good.
Yeah.
Yeah, very good.
But it's still fine for it to show up at white at the beginning.
Can you scroll down just a little bit
Oh,
and make sure?
oh, yeah, yeah.
Okay, there
Oh,
you
yeah.
go, yeah, yeah. Okay, cool. Excellent, good. Good deal, all right. Oh, yeah. Nicholas. Okay, so you were there, okay, that looks good. Okay, cool. You should have done it. Okay, now do a DIR down there. And do this one. And accounts should be gone, or no, a temp file. Let's do it. Oh, you need, you need to rename here. Rename. Yeah. Yeah. Is that it? You get Williams in there, so do a more on accounts.txt down there. You should just use your up arrow, it's probably still there in the history. There. Yeah. Right there. Yeah. There's Williams. Yeah, you got it. Liquid death.
Have you ever run it?
No.
It's like the flavored tea one.
Oh, it's not that high caffeine stuff, is it?
No, it's just black tea and like flavor. So it's
Oh, okay.
the unsweetened tea we have.
Oh, okay, cool.
And then the dead billionaire because they were trying to get at some billionaires. Piss them off.
Everything going all right?
I
Okay, so okay, so you need to put those 3 lines over, that's over there where it says import OS. Put those down over here somewhere. Let me highlight this. So you guys know what to do. This is what, yeah, you guys add this to the bottom of your ongoing script, and then this will remove accounts.txt, which is this one, and then rename this to accounts.txt. And then you're good. Makes sense? Okay, yeah.
Because it keeps calling me, just making a voice word, and it's not so right, but like, so hello.
So
That worked, but
Then
I'm
we'll-
messing up on something and.
Okay, for word in not and do you have vowels set up?
I have vowels in here, I put it as a list.
Okay. Oh, no, that's right. Okay, so you're saying if it's in there, oh, it should be. Well, we're not doing the upper lowercase. We're not doing a lot of validation here. Okay, so. So not being is almost okay, so you're saying change phrase. Okay, passing that in and vowels. The word in. Okay, so that's a list. And if it was 0, the first letter, oh, you would say in vowels. And return word plus, you gotta get rid of, oh, that's right, you're just adding a to the end. Else return the word 1 plus. Yeah, that's right. Yeah, that should do it. I think you had it wrong.
Still not something
Alright, let's debug it, so get way over here. Get that little red dot, right? Go up one more. Okay, so now pick the debug. it's gonna give you another, it should give you another little menu. Okay, so you're gonna step through that. Let's just put it in there. Oh, yeah, put in your words, okay. Yeah, so now okay, so not previous Atlas, we're just doing Atlas. Atlas step three. And now, word is, okay, that's fine. Oh, I see, so you're just returning the word.
Do I need to do like another loop?
Oh, you don't wanna return till the very end, I see.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so you wanna do something and set it equal to like, you wanna build a new sentence kind of. And then at the very end, at the same level as 4, you wanna return your word. Or your string. So I'd create like an empty string at the beginning, top here, like just say something like, result equals empty string. Right? And then you're going to say result equal or plus equals this. Yeah. Yeah. And then return plus equals that. And then return result. Yeah.
Do I need to put that in parentheses?
No. That should, and it's gonna try to debug again. Oh, you gotta put a space in there too. You gotta get rid of the end, say plus space. Like when you're adding, like
Oh, I
put a
see.
space in between the words, yeah. Yeah.
Thank you so
Mhm,
much.
yeah.
I see.
Yeah, that's good question. Okay, we got a few minutes, 12 minutes, I think we'll get into JSON and then let you guys go. Oh, you did? Okay, cool. Yeah. And I'll look, shoot me an email. I'll do it. Okay, guys, very good. Okay, so today, so far, we've learned how to write to a file, open a file, write to it with W, open a file for reading, and read from a file. And now we've learned how to open 2 files, read from one, and write to another one, okay? So you guys learned a lot about files. Now we're gonna look at JSON just for a second. We got about 10 minutes.
Question though.
Yeah.
Is this the process of a file explorer?
Yeah, the File Explorer, yeah.
Yeah, so is that like the process that it goes through, get code, trying to pull up the files?
Yeah. Yeah, if you're reading a file, and like, say you open this as read-only and then just print it out to the screen, right? You're reading a line and printing a line, then that's the same as typing more file, right? It does the same thing, yeah. So, JSON is a way to, they call it, what do they call it? Serializing, yeah. So it's a way to store data that can be easily imported back in. And it looks kind of like a dictionary, okay? So here's a JSON object right here. If you ever see JSON, it looks kind of like a Python dictionary, okay? It's got a key, a colon, and a value, right? A key, a colon, value, key, colon, value. So it's got key value pairs. Doesn't it look just like a Python dictionary with key values and curly braces, okay? So this would be JSON right here, okay? So we've got a key and a value, key value, account 100, name is Jones, and the balance is 24.98. JSON also supports arrays, which are comma separated values in square brackets, just like Python. That's a Python list, right? We also call that an array. In JSON, you want to use double quotes for strings. Numbers are just integers, like we'd know. Floating points just have a dot in there. Booleans, you use a lowercase true or false in JSON. In Python, we have to have uppercase T, right? Uppercase F. And then we have a null. I don't think we've ever used none in Python, but none in Python checks for empty. If there's nothing there, you use the word none. We haven't used this much. And arrays are just like this. So there's a JSON module that you can import right here. So let me scroll this up a little bit. Okay, so let me put a few spaces here. Okay, so suppose we have this, this is Python, right? So we have the JSON module, enables you to convert objects to JSON text format, which is known as serializing the data. So we have a dictionary right here. This is Python, okay? So we have a key and a value. And the value is one big array, one big list that has another dictionary in it. It has two dictionaries in it. It's kind of complicated. So it's a dictionary with a key, and the value is a list, and the list has
Dictionaries.
two dictionaries in it, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Okay? And we want to convert that to JSON. So you say import JSON with open accounts.json. So we're going to create a brand new file because we're using the W, right? That creates a brand new file. If this already exists, it blows it away. So we're saying open a new file, and we're going to call it accounts. And we're going to say json.dump accounts_dict into accounts. That'll be this is the file handle. So dump is it's a word you'll see in SQL too. A dump, it dumps the contents of a database. It gets a whole database and dumps it into a file. Dump it sounds like a crummy word, like I'm going to the dump, right? But dump actually gets it's actually a common word in SQL to dump a database. So this is, you're saying json.dump this variable, which is a dictionary, into this file handle called accounts, which actually points to accounts.json. So this is what it looks like in JSON. It's kind of converted it to now JSON format. So you see it's made all the strings double quotes, okay? The key is in double quotes. The values are in double quotes, okay? And now it's taken this Python dictionary and converted it into a JSON format. So it's serialized this thing into JSON. And JSON's used as a file transfer protocol for a lot of things. You can dump a whole SQL database into JSON and read it in automatically into another database with JSON. It's a way to transfer files. CSV is another way that I like to use CSV. We haven't got into that yet. We'll get into that next time because I think we're running out of time. But this is what I like to use mostly, but if you have to use JSON, which is big, there's a Python module to do that. Okay, so next time we'll start with CSV. We'll look at that a little bit. We'll read from a CSV, and then we'll I'll show you how to install Python, or pandas. And then we'll look at, we actually have some data that's from the Titanic disaster. All the people that were on the Titanic, what their names were, what their age was, what their sex was, male or female, and whether they survived or didn't survive the Titanic. We have that data set. And there was a person that worked on the Titanic from England, and his name was Walter Thomas Bryce. I don't know if I'm related to him or not. He did survive. And he was a crew member. Yeah. So we'll look at that. That data is kind of cool. So this is the average age of the people that were on the Titanic. 29 years old. So I'll see you guys on Thursday. Good job today.